Welcome to our channel. This is Lewis and I'm Myriam, and today we'd like to introduce ourselves, share our adventure, and tell you the story of how we bought a boat in Europe. Lewis is from New Zealand and has been sailing since he was a kid, racing optimist and lazy. I started sailing about 7 years ago when I crossed the Tasman Sea from Australia to New Zealand. That's where we met. Since then, we spent a lot of time sailing with Lewis' family and joined several racing crew together. Our sheer love for the ocean, diving and spearfishing inspire us to chase our ever bigger dream, buying a boat and setting off on our own adventure. 6 months ago, we left New Zealand and head up to Europe in search of a dream boat. Lewis had a pretty clear idea of what he wanted and had spent countless hours researching every option possible. Our first stop was the Netherlands, where we looked at all the aluminium boats, including several Koopmans design. They were incredibly strong and well built, but comfort wasn't exactly their strong point. For someone over 6 feet tall, like Lewis, some of the bed was simply too short, and he couldn't even stand upright in part of the cabin, which wasn't ideal for long-term living. From there, we traveled to Spain, Croatia, and Greece, where many ex-charter boats were for sale. Planning viewing wasn't always easy because of many of them were still being used during the charter season. Although many of these boats were fairly recent, they had often seen heavy use. The interior was showing their age, the engine had accumulated a lot of hours, and many boats needed much more work than the advertisement suggested. We had plenty of disappointing viewing along the way. Eventually, we narrowed it down to a few serious contenders. Our final destination was the Greek island of Syros, where we planned to view 3 boats we were really excited about: a Giano Odyssey 39A, a Salona 44, and a Bavaria 42. Each one had its strengths. Lois loved the Salona for its sailing performance. We'd seen a few older Salona before that had leaked around the mast and some moisture issue, but the Salona we viewed in Syros was actually in excellent condition and had clearly been well maintained. The purchase price was at the very top of our budget, and with the higher performance came higher maintenance costs. The Odyssey 39A was also in excellent condition. It had clearly been well maintained, and a lot of work had already been done on it. But the last boat we viewed was the Bavaria 42, Matilda, named after the owner's wife, Mathilde. The moment we stepped aboard, we knew she was different. She had a beautiful wooden interior, had been lovingly cared for, and already included many of the things on Lois' wish list: a wind vane, new standing rigging, solar panel, and much more. We had found our boat, but buying her turned out to be only the beginning. First, we needed a full marine survey to check for hidden damage, moisture, and any structural issues. There wasn't any surveyor on the island, so we arranged one from Athens. We eagerly awaited for the report, and after about a week, we finally received the good news. With a positive survey, we could move ahead with the purchase. Next came the paperwork. The previous owner had to deregister the boat in Greece before we could register her in New Zealand. We were told that the whole process would take about a month. It ended up taking 4. Thankfully, I have family in Belgium, so we spent Christmas and New Year there while we waited. We definitely hadn't expected the boat search and paperwork to take quite so long, but having somewhere to stay made a huge difference, and we had a great time catching up with family. Once the registration was finally complete, we got a Greek transit log and a Itapai cruising permit, and now we could legally sail in Greek water. That let us was about a month before we needed to leave Greece due to Lois' visa. While Matilda was in the boatyard, we kept busy with maintenance, servicing the engine, applying fresh anti-fouling, repainting the propeller, and giving the whole boat a thorough clean. We also updated the AAS and VHF radio with our New Zealand registration and sent them to Athens. What we thought may take 1 week ended up taking 3. but it gave us enough time to explore the beautiful island of Milos and Santorini before sailing on to Turkey. Life on board has been amazing so far. Lois usually takes the helm while I've been enjoying having time to cook delicious meal, read books, and settle into our new home. Living abroad has definitely been a learning experience. Every day we were figuring out practical things like doing laundry, finding fresh water, choosing good anchorage, and understanding the Mediterranean weather. The conditions here are very different from New Zealand. The surrounding land can completely change the wind, creating sheltered bay or funneling strong gusts into anchorage. We already had a few windy nights where we had to reset the anchor or ever move to a different bay. We have made plenty of mistakes so far. Every day we're learning something new and we're excited to share this journey with you. Thanks for watching, and if you have any question about any part of our process, feel free to ask and we will see you in the next video.